Hello, in this video I have a replay to show you in the Orlan, which I have no idea how to say, so I'm probably just going to say it wrong the whole game. This is easily my favourite of the tier 1 cruisers. I'm still playing it fairly regularly. I say that I've probably played it once this week, but I still play it fairly often, mainly to train up my Soviet destroyer captain, which I'm intending to start going down that line fairly soon, probably before the end of the month. But anyway, on top of that, the Orlan is just really fun to play, so it's good to get into it. It is fast, it's agile, and it's got a pretty powerful punch for a tier 1 ship. The only real massive downside to the ship is that its magazine is insanely vulnerable, which is why I fly the no magazine detonation flags you see on my mast there. But other than that, the Orlan is also very vulnerable to getting citadeled, as this enemy Orlan over here is about to find out. I am almost within range of it. Not quite. There we go. Oh, and also same replay bug as last night, where for some reason the shell traces and shell splashes aren't showing up, but you do get to see me get one citadel, actually make that 3 citadel hits on that poor Orlan, and 1 regular shell hit. Actually a couple more regular shell hits there, another citadel, and there's the Orlan dead. So if you were counting, that was 4 citadel hits, 1 fire, and 5 regular hits. And see here, what, 45% of my shots that landed on that target were citadel hits, and that's the one weakness of the Orlan. I see the Hashidate, and I figure I can switch to armor piercing for this one. The AP shells on the Orlan are pretty powerful. They've also got pretty good armor penetration. I believe it's the same gun that's used on the Soviet destroyers from tier 5 and up. And if you've played them, you know they're actually pretty good at penetrating armour at short ranges. I've just got 2 citadel hits on that Hashidate before one of my allies finishes it off. Dresden's the best target now, and I switch back to high explosive just because I wasn't really expecting to do too much with armour piercing. Although that salvo I fired there actually did pretty alright. I managed to start a fire, and I get the kill there.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
So, another Dresden to shoot at. So far this game's been going pretty well for me, up to 5 citadel hits of fire and 23 regular hits and sunk 2 enemy ships, as well as doing most of the damage to that Hashidate. And you see this Dresden here, it's a powerful ship. Judging by the number of people playing it, I'd say it's probably the favourite of the tier 2 cruisers for most people. But it doesn't actually have a lot of hit points, and its guns aren't all that powerful, and the thing is, the Orlan can actually almost beat it in a gunnery duel, especially since at long ranges the Dresden has a very high shell arc, whereas the Orlan's pretty flat at all ranges, which just means that it's fairly easy for the Orlan to dodge the Dresden, while very difficult for the Dresden to dodge the Orlan. You just see I'm pretty consistently doing 1,000 damage a salvo there and starting the occasional fire. Well, in that case I incapacitated a few modules, probably taking out the guns on its deck. Another Hashidate's sneaking up on us, so I decide to swing my guns around to deal with it. And I've got some on target here, but it explodes just as I fire. Someone put a big shot in there, but it didn't get the devastating strike medal, which is a bit odd. Probably just not quite enough to qualify. Anyway, back to shooting at the Dresden, because, well, who else am I going to shoot at? There's a Chester up there and another Dresden, but this Dresden's on the lowest hit points, so it's best to try and knock it out as quickly as I can. And it's burning in 2 places. I started one of those fires earlier. Oh, there's a big fire burning in 3 places now, it looks like. But I'm really just trying to do my alpha damage that I can with the guns, and that Dresden's dead. Figured the Chester's next, just because it's actually sitting still, so I was hoping to get a few citadel penetrations. Instead I start a fire, one of my allies takes out its engine, and I see its centre point Well, it's on fire, so I don't really want to keep shooting at it. And it's also started to take some damage, so I switched to the bow of the ship. And the Chester just seems to spontaneously burst back into flames there. I'm guessing my team must have managed to restart that fire, but it seems a bit odd. The front of the ship's now saturated for high explosive damage, so I switch my fire to the rear. But I don't get any shots off because that Chester dies, and I managed to kill it with a fire that I started. So, because I didn't start that big burst, I'm guessing there's a graphical glitch there where the fires appeared to go out and then restart again, but they're actually burning the whole time. Anyway, now there are 2 Dresdens moving down into the central zone that I've been kind of dominating here. And here's what I was talking about, where I can actually kind of compete with the Dresden in a gunnery duel. The Dresden's firing away at me, I'm firing away at it, you can't really tell because of the lack of traces. But because I'm manoeuvring like this, the Dresden's missing me far more than it hits me, although it's got a pretty good hit in there. Whereas my shots are basically almost all hitting. I managed to start a fire on the Dresden. The Orlan's actually got very good shells for starting fires. So it's actually a pretty good all-round ship in terms of firepower. As you've seen, its armor-piercing shells are pretty nifty. And its high explosive shells, they don't do a lot of damage, but they've got a high chance of starting fires. So I'd say the firepower on this ship and the Soviet destroyers that come after it are actually surprisingly good, much better than the caliber of the guns would suggest. But anyway, that Dresden, I did the bulk of the damage to it, I think, but my ally got the kill. So I'm just focusing down this last Dresden, as it actually appears to be running away from me. It's firing at an allied cruiser, another Orlan to the north of it, but it fires one broadside at me and manages to take up my steering gear and leave me on a tiny bit of hit points. But I get a few last hits into it and get me the Confederate medal and the high caliber medal. Unfortunately, this is going to be the end of my role in the game. There's only 2 enemy ships left, Dresden and Orlan, and I am just not going to be able to catch up to them. The Orlan is about to die before I can get shots in that direction, and the enemy Dresden just keeps running. But anyway, that still got me 98,000 credits, 3,000 experience, which was the first win of the day, and 2 medals. Best of my team with 3 kills and 1,000 base experience. And if you look at that, I did 45,000-ish damage, which is pretty impressive in a tier 1 ship, or at least one of my best results. More than 4.5 times my hit points, so pretty good result all around. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've enjoyed the Orlan, and I'll see you all next time.